Good evening everybody and welcome back to another episode of War Thunder with myself, L-Plates. Tonight I'm going to give you my thoughts on one of my favourite planes in the game. I suppose by saying it's one of my favourite it gives away a little bit of what I'm going to say. But the plane is a Spitfire Mark II. I'm a British guy and I am a huge fan of the British planes. But the Spitfire Mark II, iconic plane. And in the game, a really enjoyable plane to use. To me, the Spitfire, it's a cracking plane. It's low on the tiers, so it doesn't take you long to be able to use it as well. It's the plane before the Mark II is the Mark I, which is a nice plane. But when you step up to the Mark II, you'll instantly notice the difference. The extra firepower being the main noticeable difference. Why, you might say? Well, the Mark II has 20mm cannons that can and will scare the hell out of many planes if you get the jump on them. Take them by surprise. I tend to play the Spitfire Mark II in a role that it was designed for, turn fighting. If I can, I'll try and spot the enemy, or an enemy that has been split from the enemy group and attack from above and side on to him. So I'm coming in from above onto his side. This means, if he turns and shows his pilot's cockpit, I get a better chance of a hit on the pilot, which is an insta-kill. Also by attacking from above, this will create a nice amount of speed, and I can hit him, and if I don't kill him, I can climb again, and hopefully, get another pass on him, and take him out. That manoeuvre, they call it the boom and zoom. It's not ideally the best for the Spitfire, more so with things like the German Bf-109s, they tend to do that manoeuvre. But you can do it in most planes, and it does work with the Mark II. However, you don't always have enemy planes that split off, so you have to go into what we call the big red furball and fight. This is when I feel the Spitfire really comes alive. You have the firepower, you have the speed, and you definitely have the manoeuvrability. If the Mark II is flown correctly, you can outturn most planes in those tiers. Clever use of the elevator and the WEP, and whilst turning, you can have the hunter on your tail wondering where the hell or how the hell you got around and on his tail so damn fast. In my eyes, this plane is alive and kicking when you're in that type of situations. So many times I have had, to use the mountains to outmaneuver the enemy and then get back to the fight on my terms. And again, the Mark II can do it with ease due to being very, very responsive and very manoeuvrable. The game that I've got going on here that you can see, I had a decent game. I got 4 kills with the Mark II. I'm fighting it out, getting stuck into the mix, trying to find a few that I've split off, trying to help out a few people at the same time. I'm going for this Beaufort here. He's got one on his tail, so I decide to leave him. I've got one of my squad members down there, so I line up with him a little bit. But I'm in there. I'm heading back into the big red furball, trying to find my next target. So the firepower of the Mark II, you get 4 7.7mm Browning MGs and 2 20mm Hispano, or is it Hispano? I'm not sure on the pronunciation, but you get 2 20mm Hispano Mark I cannons. Now that's some firepower. It can really tear some planes to pieces. They're trying to outrun you, and with the manoeuvrability of the Spit, if you get it right, you're gonna open up a world of pain on them. And the manoeuvrability of the Mark II, absolutely awesome. It turns 360 degrees in 17.3 seconds. Unbelievable. It's just, you can throw this plane around and it will go where you want it to go. The speed, good speed, 570 kilometers per hour maximum, and the climb rate, it's a good climb rate, 16 meters a second. So overall, a very rounded plane. It was a turn fighter, and if that's what you use it for in this game, it's going to shine. You can't always, or should I say, you can't just dive into a furball on your own and expect to come out alive on the other side. As you can see here, I've got damage. It takes damage. It's not invincible. You have to be careful what you're doing. Like I said, don't go in a furball on your own. Because you're not going to come out alive. There's got to be other people there as well. But yeah, I just absolutely love this plane. I've got the Mark V-B, which is a few tiers up from this plane, the Mark II. But I just keep going back to the Mark II. It's so much more fun to use and responsive. It just feels a more rounded plane than the 5B, which did take me by surprise a little bit. I thought it would have been a much better plane, the 5B, than the Mark II, but I don't actually feel it is. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan, and that's, not a surprise to people probably. I do see lots of loving for the Mark II on the forums, and I also see a lot of hate for the Mark II, but that's because it's just such a good plane. People say it's overpowered, but I don't believe it is. I just think they've got the flight model absolutely spot on. So, okay guys, that's it for tonight. I just thought I'd share my thoughts on the Mark II. Happy hunting, and I'll see you all next time.